Did you know that the PODFIX Network, home of Headline Heroes, Cretan's Guild, Podcast Discovery Show, and more, has its own network podcast? Go wherever fine podcasts are found and look for PODFIX Presents. Network highlights, interviews, roundtables, and more, all showcasing the eclectic depth of PODFIX talent. So subscribe today. PODFIX Presents on your podcast app of choice. And check us out at www.podfixnetwork.com, at PodFix on Twitter, and official_PodFix on the gram. The PodFix Network, artist owned and loved.
The PODFIX Network, baby.
Hey everybody, this is former WWF Light Heavyweight Champion Gilbert, brother, and you're listening to the Cretan's Guild podcast.
Oh, hold on, the Cactus Jack music is going off. Where's my phone? Hold on.
Or is it Alexa taking over again?
No. That's my take out the trash to the side to the road alarm. So.
That's awesome.
Well, they didn't have Duke the Dumpster Drosky's theme, so I went with that one.
And then a surprise to you, Mick Foley is actually coming down the stairs. He's just visiting.
He's gonna hit me with a barbed wire bat, and then
tell
me about Santa Claus.
He's just gonna ask you where the cups are because he wants some some Fresca, I guess. I don't.
Fucking goddamn it!
Because he's a bit of a masochist, that Mick Foley.
He is. He I bet he drinks Beverly on purpose.
Yeah. No, what he does? He mixes that shit,
Beverly and Fresca?
Beverly and Fresca.
No one needs that.
Yeah, and
it's
then
licorice grapefruit. No one needs that.
Then he pours it into an oil draining pan along with a palm full of thumbtacks, and then
Isn't that how Harvey Dent became Two-Face? Poured that concoction on him?
Yeah, and plus that a similar amount of emotional distress too was.
I'm getting word here from Tommy Lee Jones, and he says. What the fuck's a Two-Face? So I got nothing. I'm sorry. I don't know. I was angling for a Tommy Lee Jones impression, but I forgot what he sounds like as I was doing that. So
see, that was
bitter and old.
That's where I thought you were going to be going with it, because his Two-Face was basically Jack Nicholson's Joker. Just not as convincing.
That's right, it was, wasn't it?
You remember that? Yeah, it was kind of fucking sad.
It was a disinterested Joker.
The disinterest part was probably him, but I wonder how much of that was directed to him to act that way.
It was Schumacher. I don't think Schumacher directed anyone to be disinterested. He was just up against Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
and I don't know
he
that
hated.
I don't know that Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey are necessarily chocolate and peanut butter. It's more like chocolate and used condoms. It's just not what anyone wants. On that note, everybody, welcome to episode 90 of the Cretan's Guild podcast. I am your host,
Jay. That's a
kickoff. With me, as always, are Bob and Corey. Sorry I missed last week, guys. I had some stuff going down. But it is good to be back.
I hate how you can just drop witticisms like that, as if it's just like a button somewhere in your skull that you can hit, and all of a sudden it's just these verbal confectionaries pop right out of your head. Just fuck you so much.
Sorry, I apologize. I'll be less funny. How's that?
No, you can do some funny in your life.
Yeah, it's been a week, guys. Today we are. I'm looking. Sorry, I'm just opening the rundown. Now there is a Cretan's Guild tradition.
Yeah, it is.
I tend to not open the rundown until the show starts. That's just kind of how I go, because I don't like to prepare for shows. I'm the host, goddammit. Just give me a teleprompter and I'm on my way.
It works. It works with this format, though. I mean, most of it's reactionary. Let's be real.
Format.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
I can hit Control-Alt-Delete and then we could still put on a show.
Let me see here.
Yeah, sure.
Don't.
I'm not going to
do it.
I'm not going
to. Corey would.
Well, I'll replace everything with just like a giant ASCII dick.
Yes, I know you would. I'd be somewhat proud.
ASCII Dick is my chiptune Buzzcocks cover band name.
Fucking yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't. Is that how it's pronounced though? ASCII.
I've always pronounced it ASCII. Yeah,
ASCII.
So, yeah.
I mean, neither one of us were programmers who worked for Atari in 1979, so it's not like.
Nope.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Let me get the necessary shit out of the way real quick.
Go ahead.
Just to fulfill our contractual obligations here.
Shit it up.
We are part of the PODFIX network. That's podfixnetwork.com. PODFIX, as always, like a motherfucker. PODFIX Spotlight this week. We are looking at Podcast 42. This features Chris, Jael, Sabrina, and Laura, and they storytell their adventures through space and find themselves bouncing from planet to planet, each of which has been inspired by Earth's own pop culture influences. Again, a show that has a format and has a drive and has a point, and somehow we're talking about them, and drink up, Shriners, you're welcome. That's, I mean, we're kind of the gateway drug to the FBI watch list. I mean, we're
actually like a straw poking a hole right into the 8-ball, honestly.
So we just drink it like a Chief Lapu Lapu from the fucking Polynesian.
That's Capri Scum, is what it is.
So Bob, you are the one who interacts with PODFIX.
Yes,
because Lord knows you don't want them talking
God forbid
to Corey
that either of you do it.
What? How? What? How?
I can foresee this question you're asking me, and I was doing the same reaction.
How?
Just how did we fall in with these guys?
Just sure. Let's start there. Let's go for that one. There's lots of hows that we could answer today.
Just networking, man. I reached out to a couple guys. We became friends online through Twitter, and they said, hey, we have a show. These other guys said, hey, we have a show. And then they said, hey, the four of us all together have a network. You want to join? Okay. we just lost our previous network, so yeah, sure. And actually, Podcast 42, they're probably the one podcast in the group that's probably the closest to us.
Oh, thank God.
Except we sit around and we bullshit and we talk. Mm-hmm. They play out like this script scenario. I mean, I'm looking at the write-up for one of their episodes where they're flying through space and they're meeting all these characters. The crew rescued Gordon Ramsay and Mary Poppins from a passing asteroid on their way to Planet Punch-Out. If that just sounds like something like on a creative level, something on the level that we would do, except for we're not that creative.
I would put podcast Mad Libs like way the fuck up above whatever it is that we do here. Yes.
Yeah.
It's basically what they do, except for they script it out and everybody has a role and they're actually good at it.
That's awesome. Like that's super creative. And yeah, so my next how. Mm-hmm. Is I get that this is how the networking happened. I understand that aspect of it. I've worked jobs. I understand professional networking. Mm-hmm. They listen to the show first, right?
So yeah, they know what we do. They know what we say. They listen to us.
Bob, they get sponsorships. We got to get a thing about shaving balls on the channel because of them.
And doesn't that sound like the best sponsor for us, honestly? Other than maybe Tushy?
Yeah, I mean...
I mean, yeah, it is.
Let's not pick nits. It wasn't outside of their wheelhouse.
Yeah, it's either nut shaving or ass washing. That's what you're going to get on the Guild. Well, I think the best... so the way I always describe the show when people ask me what the show's about, because I have a very difficult time kind of rationalizing what it is that happens on the show, because it just happens. It's not really a thing. I just basically tell people it's like, well, our show is kind of like you eavesdropping on three friends talking about whatever the hell they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With no filter.
Yeah.
Really. Like, it's
car talk because nobody's around to hear
totally
us.
Is.
Yeah.
It totally is.
It is. So we could just like whatever like pops into our heads, no matter how foul or inconsequential it might be, and just tumbles out of our jaws and lands in each other's laps while we're heading over to fucking Steak and Shake.
Oh, look at that! A Hitler joke just landed there.
Well, see, and that's exactly that's the best way to put it, because what the show is it's our road trips from Fort Myers to Orlando.
Yep.
It's those 4 hours of bullshit State Road 27 or I-75 with fucking nothing on it.
Yeah.
Except the just most podunk bullshit towns in the goddamn state.
We turned our 2 a.m. drives into a fucking Christmas tradition.
Yeah, we did. We did, didn't we?
People seem to like that.
And we brought in all of our friends.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Formats are for pussies. Who needs them? I don't know. This just seems to work for us. Now, my question was, I thought you were going to lead into this, though. It was like, all right, networking's all well and good and stuff. Who are we blackmailing to be on iHeartRadio?
We're on iHeartRadio?
We are on iHeartRadio.
Do I read that at the end of every episode?
If you want to. I don't know, if you're feeling it, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I'm the host. I don't pay.
But shit,
it goes in there. It comes. This is great for an audio podcast. For those at home, Jay is currently pointing at his eyes and then making a motion as if he is regurgitating vomit from his mouth with his finger.
See, I thought I didn't know what you were doing. Essentially, I saw that you.
This is ASMR with a fat fucking mink.
If you ever wanted to see a pantomime vomit.
See, I didn't.
So what I was actually attempting to pantomime was I read the rundown. Like, okay, so like I said at the start, I don't prep for the shows. I like to go into the shows fresh because I found the ones that I prep for are the ones that I'm the least engaged with.
Fresh but
because
rotten.
I'm trying to advance the concept, or not the concept, the content that we are meant to discuss in the rundown.
You're trying to ring league this thing.
Typically, what I do is I read the intro as we're doing the episode, and then I see what the topic is, and I'll start there. And if the topic starts to die, then I'll go back to the rundown and see if there's anything else on there. It's just that's what seems to work for the show to me, at least. But I never remember what's actually written anywhere, which is why it's not a joke when I go, welcome to episode of the Cretans Guild podcast. I don't fucking know. It goes in my eyes and out my mouth. It doesn't store up in my head. I have too much room for other shit that is just stuck up there, like dumb fucking song lyrics from 1987 that I will never hear again.
Oh, what?
But they're up there.
I want to ask, what song?
Oh, all songs, man. Like every fucking song.
As soon as I made it part of the show, it like went poofski.
Well, it's not like there's a song up there right now. It's just a case. So it's one of the things. This conversation my wife and I had earlier this week actually was, I can hear a song and I'll remember it. The lyrics store up here. I can't tell you how to do math. Can't fucking tell you how to do that. But I can tell you song lyrics. If I hear a song and I hear a couple tunes, I go, oh yeah, that's one that starts out like this.
That's the worst shit, though.
It's
horrifying.
awful.
It's horrifying because you're trying, especially when you're trying to learn something like new or practical and whatnot. Like I've been on this huge self-improvement kick over the last couple of months, and aside from the stuff that I feel like I should have to, there it is. Yeah, that's good. That I should have to learn. I've been like trying to get used to newer art programs and stuff. Okay, so every time I like close something on a given day, I'll open up the next stuff and be like, all right, well, just to reinforce this, go ahead and go through steps 1 through 10 again. And then I'll be like, all right, steps 1 through 10. That was Chuck Jones, 1962. I think that was basically Fast and Furious was the title. Wait, those two are unrelated bits of information. Fuck. So, yeah, it's horrible. That's how Asperger's get you, right?
And you don't know anything worthwhile.
No.
Nothing worthwhile whatsoever.
No.
Like,
So you're a pain in the ass to watch Jeopardy with, basically.
I'm awful to watch Jeopardy with, yeah.
I was going to say...
So Meredith and I went to a Mexican place the other night. We picked up lunch, and there's some trivia show on watching Game Show Network, because apparently that's big in Mexican restaurants. And it was some trivia show, and we're watching it, and I was just watching it. I was like, oh, that's this, this, and I got every question right as we were sitting there. It was like 15 questions. I just rattled them all off, and they weren't easy. And I'm just like, yeah, I could be on that show. But then I get on there, I get something wrong, and I go, motherfucker, and I get kicked off. Like,
Meanwhile, the waiter's like, sir, I really need your order.
Have you ever taken, and then he turns to the cashier and he's like, that would be Wink Martindale through the years 1978 to 1984. Whatever show that was. Have you ever taken the Jeopardy test on the website?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Did you ace that bitch or what?
I didn't ace it because there's stuff that I just don't know. There's
some like crazy obscure shit in there. Like,
yeah, I don't know about political parties of Russia in 1832. Like, I don't fucking I don't know. And it's like, and no joke, when the last time I did the Jeopardy test, one of the questions was about algebra, and I was like, well, I'm not getting any of these right. Like,
I'm done.
That's the one category you kind of just let go when you're on the.
It's like,
yeah,
A.
That's like a couch side concession. You're like killing it through let me see. Popular comic books in the 1990s. You're acing action movies starring actors named Bruce. And as soon as you show up to anything that looks like a sentence but is actually a numerical equation, you're like, just okay.
Yeah, but I was right back in it when it was best third wave ska albums. I was there. I was right there.
Yeah. Oh, and Potent Potables?
Yeah,
That's your bitch.
Yeah, Potent Potables is a good. That's one of my favorites.
That's
Anyway.
funny, though. It's funny you brought the Jeopardy thing. I'm sorry to lapse back into it.
No.
We'll squeeze this out really quick. When you started talking about how you like prepare for the show,
I don't prepare for the show.
or what your lack of preparation for the show is like, I was like, you know what? You should be the new host for Jeopardy. Because you walk
Oh my
in
god,
there.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be fucking fantastic. I would watch
Just
every
like-
goddamn night.
All right, and the category is. Okay. Old signs in Montana. All right. For $200, ball sacks.
Like, you'd show up in a suit and well-groomed and everything because you're a professional and you're an on-air
No, I wouldn't.
entertainment. And was well,
I'd wear a
Okay.
t-shirt under my shirt. I'd go in and
Yeah.
fucking Kevin Smith cosplay. Come on now.
well, you said,
You'd go the Brody route.
maybe there's a category for Kevin Smith movies. I don't know, and you're just kind of like getting into the groove. But you would do it for Alex, right?
I would, yeah.
I think so.
If the ghost of
Yeah.
Alex Trebek came to me and said, "Now you need to wear a suit, Jay," I'd be like, "Well, okay, Alex."
Gosh,
that's fine."
even you eventually shave the mustache. I guess you know what's going on.
Oh, see, no, because he shaved the mustache. I would wear the suit. I wouldn't wear a tie.
No tie. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the concession he'd have to make for shaving the mustache.
Who's hosting it right now anyway?
It's a bunch of random hosts right now because they're in between living hosts.
Oh wow.
Well, isn't there a push for LeVar Burton to become the permanent host?
Well, yeah, there's a push for that. There's a push for a couple other guys too, like Ken Jennings, the guy who was like the number one champion of all time. There's a push for him as well. Aaron Rodgers from the Green Bay Packers.
That's an interesting pick.
But he's like stupidly charismatic and really engaging with the customers. I watched an episode he was on. I was like, fine, yeah, you could do it. You're a fucking good quarterback, and you're attractive, and you're fucking great at hosting. Awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great.
Ugh.
Enjoy your millions, Aaron Rodgers, you fucking beautiful man.
Did you just refer to the
He did.
as customers?
Contestants.
The contestants. Damn it.
Leave me alone.
At least he could like name them.
I was gonna let it slide.
Shit. I don't know. That would be pretty funny. I thought there was a rumor going around for a while that like Will Ferrell was going to be an actual guest, not as Alex Trebek, but as himself, a guest host for a little bit. But then that kind of, I guess, was just smoke.
I'd be okay with that. I think that'd be really funny, actually.
How do we live this down?
By talking about video games, because it is E3 time, everybody. And you guys are going to hear this after E3 happens. That is when the release will happen. But we are going to talk about it with a certain degree of authority, because that is what we do, even if we have no information at all, because that's really how it is.
Guys, I gotta tell you, I didn't know it was E3 until today.
That's the kind of show prep we like to do, folks. Is oh fuck E3.
Hey, since we're recording it before it happens, we can make all kinds of wild predictions and just play it off if we're wrong.
Yep. All right. Okay. We're old hands of bullshit. Let's give that a shot.
All right, so I will run through the basic rundown of everything real quick. Toss in a couple of things that... a couple of things I know about that have been announced since we wrote this up. And, we'll go from there. I don't see Sony on this list anywhere, Bob.
I didn't see Sony on the schedule when Are they doing their own thing? Because I know Nintendo is still doing a Treehouse, but they'll have some kind of presence at E3. I didn't find Sony doing anything.
Well, they'll have an event during E3 because that's still publicity for them.
They will not, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm reading that right now. I had no fucking idea about that. That's crazy.
Then do not listen to me, for I know only untruths and innuendos.
All right. So, starting on this Saturday is when the E3 festivities kick off, and Saturday we have the Ubisoft Forward and Gearbox events. Sunday we have information from Xbox and Bethesda. They're going to be in the same press conference since they're the same company now. Square Enix, Warner Brothers, and 24 Entertainment. I do not know who that is.
Neither do I.
Monday, we have Capcom, Take-Two, Mythical, Freedom, Razer, and Indies. Tuesday, we have the Nintendo Direct and the Nintendo Direct Treehouse and Bandai Namco.
Are we separating Devolver from Indies because they usually like to do their own weird thing too?
I guess. I don't know. I haven't really looked at the schedule.
Okay.
And then Thursday, we have EA Play. Now, one interesting thing that I would like to point out, because as is always the case, there's always hardware rumors coming about. And, of course, the Nintendo Switch Pro is the big rumor right now. And one of the interesting things that has happened recently is that there has been a leak that GameStop has told all of its stores to double shift people next Wednesday, which is the day after the Nintendo Direct. And that usually only happens on Black Friday and on system pre-order days.
Shit.
So,
were you the person who retweeted that photo of the Switch Lite display being removed?
Nope. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
It looked like some sort of like a cardboard tray. There was two big ones stacked on top of each other that was empty, but it had the Switch logos on two of the sides. And the person that captioned it said that basically this was a Switch Lite display that GameStop's had on the retail floor. And it didn't look familiar to me. I don't go into GameStop a whole lot, but people were making a thing out of it. And knowing that, knowing what we know about the rumors about the Pro hitting, I thought it was like, okay, somebody's either having a day with us or that's some real shit. And I was waiting for the other shoe to drop, which Jay, in the form of that one rumor you had just provided.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything about that. That's really interesting. The stuff I've heard about the Switch Pro, which I hope is true, is obviously 4K via DLSS, which is going to be fantastic. A bigger screen in handheld mode, up to 720p in handheld, continuing the 720p in handheld, because honestly, if you want higher than that in handheld mode, you're an idiot, because you can't read anything on a screen that small in 1080p. The text is going to be too fucking small to be legible. The other thing about it I've heard is that the new dock is rumored to have a built-in Ethernet port, which is really nice.
Stop.
Which is fantastic.
I didn't even know that.
That was going to be a follow-up question. If I was going to ask if you knew if previous docks are compatible with a possible Switch Pro.
That I don't know. I would be surprised, because the dock is pretty much what the processing is going to be for the DLSS and the 4K, from what I understand. But again, it's all rumor and innuendo. Like, we don't know anything concrete. This could be completely false, and we're just all running around, chasing our tails, trying to get something a little more powerful from Nintendo.
Nintendo hasn't been dangling a carrot out there. They've just been waving a stick around. It's like, you guys, you want to see what we have? Nothing.
I don't know about that. See, here's the thing. I tweeted about this the other day. Nintendo's Twitter account is good for usually one tweet a day. Usually 9 a.m. Pacific time, one tweet. That's it. That's all they're going to put out. They have been tweeting a lot in the last week. And at first I was like, oh, it's E3 build-up. But the tweets always hit when people were suggesting that they're going to announce the Switch Pro today. They're going to announce the Switch Pro Direct today. They're going to do this today. And all of a sudden, there's like 3 or 4 tweets from Nintendo, and I'm like, no one needed to know about the fucking Kiwi Bird, Nintendo. No one gave a shit about the... You guys are just fucking trolling right now, and I am here for it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, we'll see what happens. There's the where there's smoke, there's fire belief, and between literally every person that has sources saying, yes, it checks out, we know that there's a Switch Pro, they just haven't announced it yet, to the very interesting, the stuff with Microsoft doing their videos. What's his fucking name? Phil Spencer? That guy, look, say what you will about Spencer, and there's a lot of things you can say about him, but the guy is good at marketing. And he doesn't do things accidentally. And every video he has done has featured more and more Nintendo stuff in the background when he does a video.
Yeah.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. That's just the... And I don't know what it means. Like, it could mean nothing. It could just mean that Rare Replay is going to be on Switch, and that's it. But please, make that fucking happen. Please.
I mean, I might be at your house when that happens. I don't think you guys want to be, like, woken up at the ass crack of dawn with an ear-piercing shriek from down in your basement.
I'm sure they've heard it before.
It won't be the last time. It won't be the first time, won't be the last time. So yeah, I mean, it's just a game of, it's a case of where there's smoke, there's fire. Nintendo has said that they're only featuring software at their direct, and I'm just like, yeah, all right, sure. It's like, is that the same thing as the day before saying there's no such thing as a new 3DS, then announcing the new 3DS the next day? Come on.
Could be. No,
come on, don't don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. That's not cool. All right, so let's talk about some of the conferences here. So Ubisoft Forward. Who knows what's going to be announced? I think the big thing for me that I'm interested in, obviously anything from Assassin's Creed universe I'm excited about. I'm interested to see if there's more Valhalla DLC gets announced. But if there is going to be another Mario Rabbids game, I think that would be pretty cool.
That'd be fantastic.
Because the first one is magnificent.
What's not going to be fantastic is the umpteenth knee-jerk tweets that are going to come out in the wake of that, demanding to know where the Beyond Good and Evil news is.
Just give up on that.
Yeah, it's if the game happens, it'll happen, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Like the Beyond the Good and Evil series has always been a labor of love.
Series?
And game. It got several re-releases. It was put out on PC after the fact.
Yeah, that's true. It was. It got an HD.
Yeah. Look, I love Beyond Good and Evil. I think it's a fantastic game, but it's not a unit seller.
It's clearly having a bit of a troubled development too. I mean, Michel Ancel left the project about a year and a half ago, and we haven't heard dick about it.
Yep.
The guy who basically created the IP and was stewarding this most recent project over a number of years, by the way, whether rumored or confirmed, took off last year to pursue a new calling in growing plants and shit. I think he's had well enough of the video game industry, and that thing is going to be in a holding pattern for quite some time now.
Yeah, I would be surprised if we hear anything about it. It's Ubisoft, so we're going to get a fuck ton of Tom Clancy games announced.
Yep.
We're going to hear about a new Just Dance game, because that's how it is. There will be a dance number.
That thing keeps their pockets fat.
Hey,
I'm not going to judge them. Yeah.
Release on the Wii.
Yep.
Right? They have said they release on the Wii because their consumers want it there.
Yep.
More power to you. Do it. It's like, I do not begrudge anyone's silly rhythm games. I think silly rhythm games are fun. So yeah, I don't know. Well, that's what we'll get from Ubisoft. I mean, there's always a chance that there's going to be something surprising there, but they've said that there's not going to be anything for the new Prince of Persia remake, which is disappointing to me because I love Prince of Persia. But
yeah, that remake was looking not so handsome though. Like visually speaking,
it wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
It was pretty rough.
Yeah, and which makes me happy that they said, you know what, we're going to let it bake for a year.
Sands of Time was to me one of those foundational games that, unfortunately, if you have played anything like off the top of my head, Batman Arkham Asylum. No, David Beckham, which was a fine game. No, Batman Arkham Asylum or anything else that uses chained fighting or combo-based fighting as a principal mechanic. Then it's like, okay, this is pretty bare bones, but it was also like the first. I think it was the first game to do that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to think about it. That game came out in 2004.
Right.
Or it's 17 years old at this point. There's like Spider-Man and Batman and.
Yeah, I was playing Spider-Man the other day, and that was what I was thinking. I was like, man, if Prince of Persia didn't exist, I could be playing this like completely differently, and probably not enjoying it too much. Just because I'm really curious. Was there anything about Gearbox at all? Because I haven't heard dill about them except for just the absolute.
I hope there's something regarding Borderlands.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
I know. But Gearbox is pretty much just like the Borderlands company now because that's their only bankable IP.
Yeah. There'll be something from Borderlands, and there'll probably be something about the Borderlands movie. That's about all I got for Gearbox. I don't pay too much attention to them anymore. So.
Yeah, to me, Borderlands hasn't been much since they got rid of like their core creative team, or at least the people that wrote most of the first installment and at least the DLC of the second installment.
Yeah.
Because the main game and then, the pre-sequel was just like, it's just a turd floating in the punch bowl, that one. But the punch is mainly drinkable. It doesn't matter, there's a turd in it. It's, don't want to be there. And then they got like rid of the people that made the bad parts of both of those projects not just tolerable, but playable, enjoyable, and because they wanted to get paid. It was like fucking.
Yeah, they're not a great company.
At the moment, they're not. No.
That's one of the things that I've learned is doing research about them. Is it's like Oh no, the owner or the studio head, he's not a good person.
Oh God, he's so fucking greasy. Speaking of which.
Pot, here's kettle.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, let's see here. Okay, so on Sunday we have Xbox and Bethesda.
Something
Probably
Fallout.
get something Fallout, something Starfield, something Elder Scrolls, something Halo. I think that's the big ones. Something Hellblade: Sesuna's Sacrifice. Maybe something Gears in a surprise move. That'd be kind of cool. That's about it.
That's I don't know dill about Gears, so I couldn't provide any speculation. But did you see the last Bethesda presentation where they revealed their take on a mobile Doom game, which I thought I was going to be like all fucking about until I realized that I already have it and it's Archero.
So the last. And this sucks because Bethesda pressers to me used to be something to look forward to, because they were a company that pushed the industry forward. You know?
Yeah,
and working in the industry, it was exciting to see them make something new.
Yeah,
and be like, hey, all right, here's our fucking big dick being slapped down on the counter. Here we go.
Despite the fact that they normally put something new out on like ages-old software, but yeah,
it was still. I mean, the software was ancient, but the game was excellent.
Yeah, and they know hype.
Buggy as fuck.
Yeah,
but excellent.
but they know hype. I mean,
yes,
people were
better than
singing,
any company.
People are still singing fucking Country Roads, even though everybody knows about the catastrophic fucking failure that Fallout 76 was.
That shit's got to stop. Putting out AAA games with a shit ton of bugs in it, that's driving me nuts. It's got to stop.
See, that's the house that Bethesda built.
And it won't, because development cycles are shortening every year. That's it's not something you're ever going to see go away. You're only going to see it get worse. And with the industry's drive towards digital, it's just going to be deemed acceptable. And you either deal with it or you get out of the hobby. It's that simple.
You're hitting the spa day one, regardless of whether or not it's filled with sewage, and you're going to wait for everybody to bail all that sewage out and fill it with actual water.
Day one title updates have been a thing since I was in the industry.
Would you think that, like, with them being underneath Microsoft's umbrella now, that ship standards will be a little bit tighter?
I mean, my information's a little bit dated, obviously, because I haven't worked in the industry in years, but Microsoft was always the easiest to get through certification on. But that's because Microsoft was the easiest to work with.
Yeah.
Like, if you had a logical reason for a way you did something, they were cool with it. Like, they're like, okay, no, that makes sense. All right, we're good with that. They weren't good with crashes. Like, I will say that Sony didn't give a fuck. Sony didn't give a fuck about crashes. They did not give a shit. Microsoft didn't like crashes. They were not happy with crashes going out, especially easy to produce ones going into the day one launch of a game. They wanted something to be addressed, either in a recertification or in a title update that they would make sure that you had submitted that would cost you $10,000 before they would even allow the game to go to press, to go to gold.
Yeah.
Microsoft, I want to say that... I want to say yes. I want to say it'll clean things up and Bethesda will be forced to work a little bit harder at it.
Yeah.
But if I'm being honest with you, it won't. Because they're now a first-party studio, so what's necessary for a third-party studio isn't always what's applied to a first-party studio.
There's favor involved.
Well, I mean, and that's fine. Like, I mean, there's no issue with that.
Yeah.
That's how it is. You want those games by the company. I understand it.
And I can dig a company having rigid standards against something as critical as like a crash, because what's the first thing you see after a game crashes? Not the rest of the game. You see the console that you're playing it on. So whenever, and there's some sort of like a psychological echo that's involved with that, is whenever you are playing a game on a particular console and it crashes like that, it's like a punch to the gut, and you begin associating that phenomenon with that brand.
And that's exactly it. And that's why Microsoft was worried about it. And at the time, if you remember, one of the reasons that Microsoft was so worried about it is because they had the epidemic of 360s dying. The Red Ring of Death. So they were just like, no, you can't have your fucking game crash. Sorry. It has to work. Like, we already have... a 30% failure rate on our original run Xbox 360s. We can't have any more bad press.
And here's Todd Howard selling copies of New Vegas like their lottery tickets. Like, hey, you might have a game on this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Try your fucking luck.
So yeah, I would love to say that yes, Bethesda is going to be held to a higher standard, and I hope they are. I hope that's the case. Like,
Yeah.
especially because the more I use the systems, I am constantly impressed with the Series X. Like, that is one of the most solid, well-performing consoles I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's your new Huckleberry right now, isn't it? You just had a video on it.
I fucking love the thing. I love it. It is so good. It's going to be awesome when it has games. That's the big problem right now. It's like there's nothing out for it. It's fucking awful. That's the worst part. But the console fucking hums along. It is fast. It looks fantastic. Like, there are no load times. Like, so best example I can give. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla, if I were to fast travel from England to Norway, I'm looking at 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes of a load time on my Xbox One. I mean, that's go to the bathroom and get a drink time.
Right.
Like, it's what you expect on the last generation of consoles. On the Series X, when I do that, it's maybe 3.5 seconds.
Jesus.
Like, it's enough for the screen to fade out and fade in, basically.
That's a huge difference.
Oh yeah, no, it's nuts. It's and it's a goddamn good console. Like, it plays so well and it looks good.
All right, and then
Yeah.
there was Square Enix, Warner Brothers, and 24 Entertainment. Square Enix.
I'm gonna look up 24 Entertainment. Square Enix, we're probably gonna get some stuff for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
24 Entertainment works pretty closely with NetEase. Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers will probably do something Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
Yeah, you're gonna get some stuff from NetherRealm. You're gonna get some stuff about the new Suicide Squad game that's built on the Rocksteady engine.
Ooh.
You're gonna
shit.
get something about the new Arkham game that has Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, and Red Hood in it.
Oh, that's right. The Gotham City Imposters. That's not right though.
No, I missed that game. That game was good.
I never got to play it.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Huh.
If wild speculation, you're going to get some new Lego shit at the Warner Brothers press conference because they own Traveler's Tale.
They could just take a dart and just throw it at any IP. It's like, hey, we haven't made a game of that yet.
I want to see them do something kind of off the wall. Like, I would love to see them do like fucking Lego
Dimensions?
Well, no, don't you're breaking my heart.
Dude.
Like, if I'm looking at IP, I would love to see Lego do a fucking Lego Overwatch game.
That'd be
Give
cool.
me a Lego first-person shooter.
That'd be cool.
Like, and there's so many just random fucking IPs that Warner Brothers owns. Like, maybe we'll get a new Godzilla game. Maybe we'll get a new King Kong game. Who fucking knows, man? Like, they just have their hands in so much shit. They're just young. They're just smaller Disney. That's all it is.
Oh, and especially with the new the sale going down.
Yeah.
Oh, with the DC Comics sale?
The one for them being branded with Discovery, Warner Brothers Discovery or whatever it is.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, there's something there. There'll be something. Who knows though? Like, I haven't got a clue what stuff they've got in the pipeline right now.
Did you look up 24 Entertainment, by the way?
Yeah, they have nothing I've ever heard of. So
You were right. There you go. Okay.
Bunch of mobile games, probably.
Monday's got Capcom and Take-Two. I think the only thing that I've registered from Capcom was the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, because I was waiting for that to come out on 3DS and it never fucking did. But hey, now we can play them on the Switch. So
if we get a Switch Pro announced before the Capcom press, I think you're going to see the Resident Evil remakes announced for it, and probably Resident Evil 8. I think you may get something kind of off the wall. One of the Street Fighter Ultra HD remix game that came out a couple of years ago.
Oh, slick.
Got pulled off of the eShop recently and got pulled from shelves, so I think you're going to see something there.
Just make El Fuerte part of it. God damn it. There's no reason he got ejected. By the way, making Resident Evil 8 portable is a pretty dangerous fucking idea.
I guess. I don't know. I don't understand the obsession with that game.
It's because there are some weirdos on social media that love them some tall bitches. That's what the obsession is.
I guess. It's interesting because on the next day we have, and we could talk about Devolver, but I don't know enough about Devolver to really talk about it. I just know I enjoy watching their press conference because it's always hilarious.
Yeah, big time avant-garde shit. Although the last time was okay, the jokes kind of run dry. You gotta redo it again or remake yourselves again.
Yeah, same thing with Limited Run. Like, Limited Run's press conference last year was great, but it was like the same thing as the year before.
Well, Limited Run's press conference last year was all IPs, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Guess who got Scott Pilgrim? Your boy
that's
got
right.
Scott Pilgrim, didn't he? That's right. He got Scott Pilgrim, and now Scott Pilgrim is out. So they got to come up with
Still
something.
waiting on my physical copy.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
so am I, and like 5 others. But that was kind of like their big reveal last year. That's how they drew a lot of water. The Devolvers, I guess I think they're gonna bounce Hotline Miami 3 because they released a tantalizing thumbnail on one of their tweets in the last week, and people were kind of like, that's like one of their bigger or more well-known entities. I mean, the other one's Serious Sam, but they just bounced 4 last year, and Tormental's been on early access since like 2018, so that's not going to be any real news when that hits the marketplace in 1.0. I don't think they're going to have a whole lot to announce and hype up. I'm going to guess that a whole lot of their presentation is going to be just that, a presentation, and continue that absurd narrative they have with their company being overtaken by robot usurpers and a bunch of other whatever shit. There's going to be a lot of gore, can promise you that. But as far as like marquee releases are concerned, probably not.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Devolver's always fun. They always have good stuff.
Oh,
I mean, there'll be something.
Yeah.
There'll be something in there about Fall Guys. That's kind of ubiquitous. Like, hopefully we'll get an update on when it's actually going to be on the Switch and the Xbox. I think that is also one of the things that's hanging up the release of Fall Guys, is that they don't have the Switch Pro yet. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's too many things where it's like, all right, there's one point.
Just announce it, you
Yeah,
turds.
it's like, guys, come on. Like, you've got a tarp over the words Switch Pro comes in September. And it's the size of a building, but the tarp is this big, so it just says Switch Pro comes in September. Like, it's like, you just covered up the R. We know it's coming. Just fucking show it off already.
It's a very noticeable tarp. I mean, fucking Phil Spencer's next to it, and somebody's giving him a hand job. How are we not supposed to notice that it's there?
Is that
It's not
like
even
a
tied
motor?
down well.
Yeah.
The wind blows it up every once in a while.
Pay no attention to that hand job behind the curtain.
It's a me! Oh, you took the big mushroom today, Phil. It's a growing. Oh, God.
And somewhere beneath the tarp. Wah! Oh, no. We don't even want to know. And it turns out he's trying to break the whole thing up because Wario's very, very concerned about the company's public image. He's very responsible.
Guys, have
like
a little bit of class. We have shareholders present. I'm so sorry about this.
That's true. He would be more concerned about the bottom line, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's a greedy guy.
Uh-huh.
Now, Waluigi, he's filming.
Right. But he's in prison. He's in prison right now, so nobody's worried about him.
That's true. That's
Yes.
true. All right, so Tuesday we come to Nintendo. We got the Direct and then 3 hours of Treehouse. Nintendo has said it's going to be a 40-minute long Nintendo Direct video.
Yep.
And who fucking knows what we're going to get announced? We're going to see stuff about Breath of the Wild 2, I'm sure.
And probably 50 different indie titles we've never heard of and may never play.
Right. Well,
maybe not you.
Here's the disappointing. Here's the disappointing thing about the indie sizzle reels that they do. That's basically an extended trailer for Steam. I mean, none of those ever really become like first-party releases on the Switch. There were like 2 in the last reel, if I remember. One was the Never Back Down. No, that's a movie. I don't know. It was a really underwhelming runner game, and what was the other one? Blue Fire, I think. But no, that's coming to Steam also. So never mind.
We'll probably get some stuff about Breath of the Wild 2. We might get something about Metroid Prime 4. We might get something about Bayonetta 3. There's rumors of a new Donkey Kong game being announced, and there's also, the inevitable Legend of Zelda 30th anniversary this year.
Right.
So maybe we'll get something there. Who knows?
For Donkey Kong, is it going to be something new, you think, or maybe in the country style?
Well, they just did Tropical Freeze, and they just re-released Tropical Freeze on the Switch, so I'd be surprised if we get another 2D side-scroller. I would, personally, I'd love to see something 3D. I'd like to see a Donkey Kong 64 sequel. I mean, it's a good game. We also haven't seen anything from Kirby in years. We haven't seen anything from... We haven't seen anything from F-Zero in fucking decades.
That one's a little harder.
Yeah.
A little trickier.
Yeah, there's actual causality behind that, though, isn't there?
Is there?
What I had read is that it's generally believed or thought that reintroducing an F-Zero property would cannibalize the Mario Kart property, which sounds ridiculous to me, but it is Nintendo, and Nintendo be doing Nintendo shit.
Yeah, but at the same time, Mario 8 is still selling.
Well,
It's got like a 50% attach rate right now. You could put out an F-Zero game and be just fucking fine. Like, it's...
Yeah, well, yeah, people come back at that where they point out different examples of racing games that follow F-Zero's formula more closely, like some umpteenth independent releases that have been released on PC that were inspired directly by F-Zero. They make some interesting decisions about their own IPs.
They do. They make some goofy-ass decisions. Like, there was... When we did Fight Night Round 2, we were allowed to ship with Super Metroid on disc. Mm-hmm. Or Super Punch-Out on disc, not Super Metroid.
Yeah.
That would have been really weird. So we had Super Punch-Out on disc, and we had every waiver imaginable. Nintendo loved the idea, and then we went to lot check, and they tried to bounce us for having it on the disc.
Oh wow, really?
And we're like, but here's the letter, like it's right there. You say it's cool. Mm-hmm. Well, we need to rethink that. I'm like, the fuck?
Now you tell us.
It's been 9 months, you assholes. Yeah.
It's not like, surprise, we hid this from you hoping you wouldn't notice.
So they tried to bounce us because when you get into game in Super Punch-Out, you can look at your controller configuration, and the image that was displayed was the Super Nintendo controller, not the GameCube controller.
Oh.
So they said, no, that needs to be fixed. You need to display the GameCube controller. And my response back was, are you going to give us the source code so we can alter the image?
Oh, and the response was...
They let it go.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So instead of giving you the updated, up-to-date information, they said, nah, just go with that.
Well, I mean, it was updating source code for 15-year-old game at that point.
Right.
They didn't have that.
Oh, okay.
That's Nintendo. They are their own.
Nintendo do what Nintendo do.
Yeah, they're their own goddamn sitcom. So Namco, Bandai Namco's chasing down Treehouse.
Yep. We'll get something about the new Tales game. Mm-hmm. We'll probably
Pac-Man.
Get something Pac-Man. Ideally, Pac-Man Championship Edition 3. Put it in my veins. I need it.
Compile all the Pac-Men that have been released up to the first Championship Edition onto the same goddamn archive. I don't know why they never do that. You'd think the people would be jonesing, right?
You think that would be the simple decision?
Yeah.
Like, what should we do? We should put all the Pac-Mans out under one release. You're fired!
How much of a fucking headline would it be if they not only released a Pac-Man archive, but at least a reasonably rebuilt version of Baby Pac-Man, including, the pinball portion of it? Mm-hmm. That'd be fucking crazy.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. I kept looking forward to that coming out on the DS, which you'd think would be like a goddamn natural fit, but it never manifested.
All right, let's take a look at what Bandai Namco games do we have coming out. Elden Ring. Elden Ring won't happen.
That's not happening. No.
Dark Souls. God.
George R.R. Martin's going to finish fucking Wild Cards before Elden Ring happens, and
No, he won't. No, he won't.
I just realized Namco's the guys that do all the they partner with Nintendo on a lot of stuff, don't they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like they're kind of like the background developer on a lot of shit.
If we're coming up with like sundry salacious metaphors for the relationship between Microsoft and Nintendo, imagine what happens behind closed doors between Namco and Nintendo.
I don't wanna.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what I want. I tell you what I want from Namco.
What?
Because I'm trying to collect the entire series. I want remasters of the Tales series. Out on Nintendo.
Yeah, it's
not going to happen.
That'd be a windfall. You know what I'd like to see from Namco, though? And
what's that?
There's much less of a chance of this happening than a Tales collection. Poor Divine Ninja.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, it just occurred to me, is 1UP doing anything?
Arcade 1UP?
Yeah.
Well, there's the Simpsons game that has been, we promise it's not real, but totally confirmed.
Okay.
Yeah, which is going to have the Simpsons Arcade and Simpsons Bowling on it.
Because I see your Space Invaders back there, and one day I'm going to have Simpsons Arcade behind me.
Yeah.
One day.
There's
One
that
day.
one. They've got a bunch of stuff rumored right now. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Beyond... Oh, Simpsons. That's a yes.
Well, there's the X-Men cap, too.
Yeah, that's right. There's the X-Men cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Plays Colossus.
Oh, and... the only reason I played Colossus... Just to spam his special attack.
Yeah.
I always played Dazzler. Dazzler. She was fun.
Because Dazzler's fun. Now, my top three were... I was a teenager, so I played Wolverine a lot, of course. Yep. If somebody had Wolverine, I would default to Nightcrawler. If somebody had Nightcrawler, I would default to Dazzler. And if there were too many fucking people at the cab, I would default to Colossus and spam his special attack.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did, too.
It works.
Except it was... Dazzler, Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Colossus for me.
Yeah.
Never Cyclops.
What was the benefit to Nightcrawler? I
Because-
mean, I know he teleported, but what was the benefit?
Oh, he was the agile guy.
Nightcrawler was cool.
Yeah. Whenever the protocol for beat 'em ups for me was to play the agile character, so with like Captain America, Avengers, I would gravitate
Hawkeye.
towards Hawkeye first, right? Same deal with X-Men.
Streets of Rage 2. It was the kid on the skates.
On the Kill on the Skates. Now I usually played the girl. I forget SOR nomenclature, but with Final Fight, I kind of break decorum with Final Fight. I always played as Hagar because I was a little asshole and I spammed his twirly clothesline move.
He was fun. Hagar was cool.
And the other one is Tron. And having just recently played Tron and previously writing it off because I was talking to you about it, I might actually get that one. That's not a bad game.
Really?
Yeah, I played it over replay a couple of nights ago, actually. The tank one, the tank game is a little but the bike thing is fucking fantastic. That's some tense-ass gaming, and it's no wonder that people still remember that, like, decades later.
It's probably going to have Discotron on there, too, which is really fun. I remember liking that game.
At the time, I was, like, in that developmental phase where I didn't realize that, video games could be more than mazes, and chopping shit in a maze, so I didn't really know what to make of it. I need to play that again, though. Yeah, because back in the day, I remember, like, having a hell of a hard time with it. And then
yeah, well, it wasn't the easiest game.
No,
yeah.
it's still pretty fucking difficult. But then again, it's literally only 4 stages long. It should be, and that was another thing I didn't remember about it. There's only like 4 zones to do, and then you're pretty much like Rito Completo. But you got to make that quarter last, right?
Mm-hmm. Bringing up the rear on the Thursday after E3 is EA Play.
We'll let you take the reins on this one because I know
There will be sports games.
Uh-huh.
There will be mentions of new things from BioWare, because there always are.
Mm-hmm.
There will be something about, I guarantee, extolling the virtues of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Right.
Which, rightfully so, because it's a great collection. There will be something in there about whatever it is that their free-to-play Battle Royale game.
Mm-hmm.
That I can't remember the name of. That's how impressive it is. And I think they close with something Star Wars. They close with something either Jedi Fallen Order 2 or something with a Squadron sequel or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd be all over that at Fallen Order 2. Yeah.
Fallen Order is fucking fantastic. I'm playing through it for the 3rd time now. Like, it's that goddamn good.
I tell you what, ever since I got my saber from Galaxy's Edge, I've just been Star Wars gung-ho for the last couple of weeks. And yeah, I'm probably going to play Fallen Order once again, because that was a hell of a great game.
It really is.
So much better than I thought it would be.
Which one? Well, this is AAA, so I'm kind of like peripherally aware of it. Which one was Fallen Order?
So Fallen Order was the single-player game that EA swore there would be no microtransactions on.
Oh, the one that came out in like 2018?
2018 or 2019? Yeah, somewhere in there.
After Battlefront 2.
Right.
You play as a former Padawan who escaped the Purge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm going to say about it, because you're going to be at my house soon and you can play it if you want to.
You should play it.
The remarkable thing about the game is that EA told the truth.
Mm-hmm.
There are no microtransactions. Like, everything just is on disc and it works.
Okay. Well, disregarding the exaggerated, the overreactions from people, is there some, like, where did the accusations come from?
Well, Battlefront 2 is where they come from,
Okay.
because Battlefront 2 was just rife with microtransactions.
Like, it was
just
terrible.
Okay,
it was nothing but microtransactions.
Maybe I'm getting my
You
games
had to
mixed.
play 80 hours to acquire players or other characters that you can otherwise just purchase.
Did they make the same claim for that game as well? Because I could be getting my games confused here.
No, with Jedi Fallen Order, they said there will be no microtransactions. This is a single-player standalone experience.
Mm-hmm.
There's no games as a service tied to this.
Okay.
But, I mean, EA has had games as a service as their model since 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So when they said that 10 years later, people are like, yeah, you're full of shit.
Oh, who said that? EA? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when they stuck to it, people were like, oh, holy shit, okay.
But
what a pleasant surprise.
Because I remember people bitching about it then. Now, granted, at the time, and by the way, I realized after the fact that this sounded kind of snotty, where I'm like, oh, that's AAA. I wouldn't know anything about that. But
No, not really. I mean, it's like you focus on a lot of indie games. I don't think that's
It's mostly retro and indie, but I'm not gonna like poo-poo something just because it's too glitzy, you know. I mean, Dying Light's an attestment to that. But a lot of like,
you need some more Chipotle for that.
maybe so. No, wait, no, that's a hand food. I don't like getting grease all over my controllers and shit. It's heresy in this house. We will not stand for it. But like stuff that's like heavily IP'd, I don't know why it is, but I like always drag my heels on stuff if it's got like too much exposure, and especially if it's attached to a very visible IP like Marvel or Star Wars or some stuff like that. It's always what happens to my like immediate cognitive or my immediate cognizance is that like I'll just see it there and be like, oh, that'll be around forever. I'll just get to it, and you know that never happens. I have yet to beat Super Star Wars. And I think that's been around since like 1993. I don't know. That's
to be fair,
yeah.
You're not missing much.
Okay.
Guys, we are nearing the magic number of episode 100. So if you'd like to record a nice thing to say, or even better, a nasty thing to say about us, and also plug your own stuff and then say your piece, send it to cretinsguild@gmail.com. The link tree to all of our socials and other media can be found in the description, or do a search online for Cretins Guild. It's 2 words. If you think we've given you $1 worth of content, why not join our Patreon page? Supporters are sent stickers, and now they are sent that as well. Sent coasters, amongst other swag. Also able to have access to early uploads and some extra stuff that we drop in from time to time. You can find me on YouTube. I am Square Pegs. I am not the one with Sarah Jessica Parker. And you can find Bob on YouTube at Skipper Bob's Breakdowns. He is the one with Sarah Jessica Parker. We have merch on tpublic.com. We have merch that feature on tpublic.com that features the art of Tom Solo. Our lawyers assure us that all products are legally confirmed as fly. We are part of the PODFIX network, so to all of our followers, new and old, we say to you, welcome to the guild. Follow us on Tout.
The kids say fly, right?
No.
No.
I mean, unless they're going on an airplane.
This was a podcast of the PODFIX Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.
Do you like 80s television? Of course you do. Do you like helicopters? Of course you do. Do you like men serenading eagles by the waterfront while playing cello? Yes. Yes, you do. If you'd like to hear more about helicopters and cellos, please be sure and tune in to Champa and Klein the Airwolf Years every week on your favorite podcast service. Join hosts Greg and Dave as they discuss every single episode of the classic 1980s television series Airwolf. Be sure and subscribe today.
There's much less of a chance of this happening than a Tales collection. Poor Divine Ninja.